Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. This is in our Sulfur class, Nahw class 66, and the topic is Al-Af'al al-Khamsa wa i'rabuha. That is the uh, five verbs, the five majority verbs and their i'rab. So this is from the reference book of Nahw Wadi, book 2. Then so we start by looking at this note here. So we know that al-af'al al-khamsa are from fi'l mudari. So how are they formed? So looking at this table, we have mufrad, that is singular, muthanna, dual, jamu, and plural in the columns. And in the rows, we have ghaib, ghaiba, mukhatab, mukhataba, and mutakallim. So ghaib, third person male, ghaiba, the third person female, mukhatab, the second person male, mukhataba, the second person female, and mutakallim, and the first person. So let's analyze the table of the fi'l mudari. So we have mufrad, we have ya'malu from amila ya'malu. For ghaib, for musanna ya'malani, then jamu ya'maluna. For ghaiba we have ta'malu, ta'malani, ya'malna. Then mukhatab we have ta'malu for male, ta'malani, ta'maluna. Then the mukhataba we have ta'malina, ta'malani, ta'maluna. Then for the mutakallim we have a'malu and na'malu. So out of all these verbs, which ones do we call af'alul khamsa? So if you notice, there are some verbs that are colored red in the fonts that are colored red. So these verbs are the af'alul khamsa. If you count them, there are five. You have ya'malani, you have ya'maluna, ta'malina, ta'malani, and ta'maluna. So the ta'malani here is in three positions. Is in musanna for ghaiba, musanna for mukhatab, and also musanna for mutakallim. That is the dual form of the third person female, dual form of the second person male, and dual form for the second person female. So the tamalani is in what? Is in three different positions, but it is counted as just one one entity because it is the same shape. So we have ya'malani, ya'maluna, ta'malina, ta'malani, and ta'maluna. So these five are what we call the al-af'alul khamsa. They are the five majority verbs that we are talking about. So why do we call them the five verbs? Why are they given that name? So they are called al-af'alul khamsa because in their reference states, our verbs can be in three different states. It can be in reference state, can be in nasbu state, and can be in jazm state. So when the verb is supposed to be in reference state, they always end with nun. These five verbs we are talking about, when they are in reference state, naturally when we are talking about our verbs, we always put them in reference state. So that is why in this table, they are all ending with nun, the red ones. The red verbs here, they are all ending in nun. Why? Because they are in their reference state. So that is how we denote them in reference state. They all end in nun. They are called, so that phenomenon of ending with nun is called thubutu nun. Thubutu nun. So all of them are all ending with nun in their reference state. The red verbs, note them, they are five. That's why they are called al-af'alu al-khamsa. So that is one. Two is that I said they end with nun in their reference state. So for their nasbu and jazmu state, the nun is removed. For them to be in nasbu and jazmu state, we remove the nun. So that is one. So now the verbs, if you notice them, the verbs that we have, one of them fall under mufrad, two of them under musanna, and two of them under jamu. So what are the pronouns they are connected to? The first one, ta'amalina, is connected to yaw mukhataba. This yaw between lam and nun in ta'amalina is called ya'u al mukhataba. So yaw for second person female, ta'amalina. So it's part of our al-af'al al-khamsa. That's one. If you check ya'malani and ta'malani, they have something in common. They have aliful isnain, the alif that denotes duality, and then the last two are connected to what wawul jamaa, waw that denotes plural. So that is also one of the reasons they are called al af'al al khamsa. So these al af'al al khamsa are connected to three pronouns: yaul mukhataba, aliful isnain, and wawul jamaa, and they all end with nun in their often state, which is called thubutu nun. For nasbu and jazm state, the nuns are removed. So then we note that we also have another two verbs that ends with nun here. We have two verbs that end with nun here in the German form. We have ya'malna and ta'amalna. So these two verbs do not follow the rules that we mentioned earlier. They obviously they end with nun, but their often state is not denoted with the known, or their nusbu and judgment state is not denoted with removing them. No, because they are mabniju. Why? Because this known here is not the same thing as the known we have for the afal khamsa. The known here is known on niswa, it's a pronoun, so we cannot remove it. For ya'malna and ta'amalna. So that is the reason it does not follow the same rule as the afal khamsa. The afal khamsa have their own pronouns. They are the letters just before the noon. For the mukhataba here, the ya mutakallim. For here we have the alful isnain, the letters just before the noon. Ya'maluna, we have the wawul jamaa. So, but for ya'malna, you can see there is no alif isnain or anything there. The noun there is in nun niswa, so it cannot be removed. So that is why it's not part of what the al afalu al khamsa. And also that when you have nouns, for example, muslimani, muslimuna, it looks similar to ya'malani, ya'maluna. Ya'malani, ya'maluna are verbs. What we are doing are af'al, they are verbs. Muslimani and muslimuna are what? They are nouns. Their often state is not denoted with the nun, no. For muslimani, muslimuna, or other nouns that come in musanna and jamu mudhakkar salim, their often state is not denoted with the nun. Their often state is denoted with this alif in muslimani, with the waw in muslimuna. Their jaru and nasbu state is denoted with what? Yaw. So we are going to have muslimaini and muslimina. So this is different from the af'al al-khamsa. Af'al al-khamsa are verbs. So they only come in what? Rafun, nasbu, and jazm. For the verbs, we have musanna of nouns, and jamu muzakkar salim. They can take rafun, nasbu, and jarru, not jazm. So now their own shapes are now different. The alif and the waw here is what denotes the rafun, not the nun. But for afal khamsa, what denotes the rafun? The nun. What denotes the nasbu and jazm is the removal of the nun. But for these nouns, the dual noun and what? Jamu muzakkar salim, that is plural sound nouns. What denotes their own rafun is the alif and the waw. And their nasbu and jazm and jarru, because nouns cannot have jazm, they have jarru. So, and their jarru is what? Is denoted with what? Yaw. So instead of muslimani, we have muslimina. Instead of muslimaini, instead of muslimuna, we have muslimina. So let us take note of those two. So now moving into the book we are using, also Nahw Wadi. Now Wadi book 2, moving to the book we are using. So reading from the Qaida, we have two Qaida for al-af'al al-khamsa. It says al-af'al al-khamsatu hiya kullu mudari'in ittasalat bihi alif ithnayn aw wawu jama'atin aw ya'u mukhatabatin. Just like we have mentioned earlier, the af'al al-khamsa are those mudari verbs that are connected to aliful isnayn, wawul jama'a, and ya'ul mukhataba. So like we have ta'malina, ta'malani, or ya'malani, and ya'maluna or ta'maluna. So ta'malina is the one with what? Ya'ul mukhataba. Ta'malani and ya'malani are the ones with what? Is aliful isnain. Then ya'maluna and ta'maluna are the ones with wawul jama'a. Then the second qaida says al-af'alu khamsatu tarfa'u bi thubuti nun wa tunsabu wa tujzamu bihadfiha. Like we have mentioned earlier also, af'alul khamsa are given rafun or they remain in rafun state with thubutun nun, with the firmness of nun. That is, that nun will be in the verb. The nun that comes after each of those pronouns that we mentioned in the first qaida, they will remain with the verb in the rafun state. Watunsabu watujzamu bihazfiya. Then we remove it. We clean the nun off in jazmu and nasbu states. So let's take a look at the examples we have here. So we have three sections of examples here. We have the natural form, the rafun state. Al-amilani yashtaghilani. The two workers are busy. Ishtaghola yashtaghilu. Then for dual we have yashtaghilani. So al-amilan, two workers. Yashtaghilani, a verb denoting duality, are both busy. Antuma tashtaghilani. So this yashtaghilani is for third person. You can see the yaw is for third person. Then tashtaghilani for second person. So what we want to take is that yashtaghilani and tashtaghilani, they are part of what? Af'alul khamsa. Antuma tashtaghilani, both of you are busy. Al-ummal yashtaghiluna, the workers are all busy. That's the third one. Then the fourth one, antum tashtaghiluna, you are all busy. So that's the fourth one. Then the last one, anti tashtaghilina, you are busy. When you are speaking to a female, the second person female. So we have how many verbs like that? We have 5 verbs. Yashtaghilani, tashtaghilani, yashtaghiluna, tashtaghiluna, and tashtaghilina. So those are the af'al al-khamsa. In rafun state, the noun remains there. So the next set of examples, they show us the verbs in their nasbu states, because lan is part of what? Those adawat, those harfu that gives our verb nasbu states. So lan means what? Never. So al-amilani lan yashtaghila. We have removed the nun. We have removed the nun here. So we have mansubun bihadfin nun. Mansubun bihadfin nun. So the two workers are never busy, or we will never be busy. The two workers will never be busy. Antuma lan tashtaghilani. Both of you will never be busy. So you can see the lan is removing the nun. It's giving it nasbu. By what? By removing the nun. Al-ummal lan yashtaghilu. The workers will never be busy. Antum lan tashtaghilu. Lan tashtaghilu. You all will never be busy. Anti lan tashtaghili. You, talking to a female, will never be busy. So removing the what? The nun in everything is what gives it the nasbu state. So looking at the jazmu state, we use lam as a tool to give it jazmu here. So al-amilani lam yashtaghila. The two workers were not busy, because lam here is going to negate the verb in the past. So al-amilani lam yashtaghila. The two workers were not busy. Antuma lam tashtaghila. Both of you were not busy. Al-ummal lam yashtaghilu. The workers were not busy, all of them. Antum lam tashtaghilu. You all were not busy. Anti lam tashtaghilu. You, talking to a female, were not busy. So you can see how they are given nasbu and jazm by removing the nun. Same form. It is the context that will tell you if it is nasbu or jazm. But the verb, they look the same. We are only removing the nun. But for often state, the nun remains the same. So if you do the i'rab of the rafun state, you say fi'l mudari marfu'un bi thubuti nun. Marfu'un bi thubuti nun. For nasbu fi'l mudari mansubun bi hadfi nun. Also for jazmu, majzumu bihadfin nun. So that is how the i'rab is done. So that is where we'll be stopping the class for tonight, and we'll say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.